Nic Scourton still hadn't signed his deal. Is it a big deal? Let's talk about it on the One Carolina show. Now, what I want to reference is an article. There's so much information out there about this, but I want to reference an article written by Panthers Wire that kind of details this situation a little bit further. So, one big holdup could lead to a bunch of holdouts in many this year. Top rookies, including Carolina Panthers linebacker Nic Scourton. With training camp right around the corner, or the league almost ready to begin, among those 30 not signed, I should say, is Nic Scourton, the 51st overall selection from this past spring. So what is the huge logjam about? Well, it's still exactly where it was back when the organized team activities. On May 8th, and this is the thing, and I'm going to talk about something else that happened to us that kind of references this point a long time ago. Houston Texans wide receiver Jaden Higgins, the 34th overall selection, became the first second-round pick to ever sign a fully guaranteed contract. Then on the next day, Cleveland Browns linebacker Carson Schwessinger landed a fully guaranteed pact of his own. Now, once upon a time, in the ownership meetings, this very thing that happened with the Texans, or what they did, kind of shined a bad light on us. We signed Matt Rule. I know the name is going to make some of you cringe, but we signed Matt Rule to a fully guaranteed deal, right? Or a 7-year deal. Or I don't know if it was fully guaranteed, but either way, it was a 7-year deal. And it was more than any rookie head coach had ever gotten coming into the league. And had Matt Rule been successful, it would have set a precedent that probably would still show effect to this day. Now, some may argue that it's possible that there's still a precedent that was set just for the mere fact that we gave him the deal to begin with. I don't necessarily know that that's true, but here's what I do know. This situation with Jaden Higgins is a whole lot different because the guarantee is going to set a standard regardless of production up front, to where the contract language eventually has to change. Now, in the case of Nic Scourton, I don't know that this is going to play as much of a deal with him just because of the type of character person that he is. The one thing this is why I say that it's kind of an issue and it's a non-issue at the same time. One, because Nick has shown up for everything, unlike his teammate or former teammate, I should say, in college, Shamar Stewart, who has not shown up in Cincinnati for any of those things, or shown up, been there, but hasn't, been active, wasn't an active participant. Now, I don't think that there's any kind of pact between Shamar and Nic Scourton of like, hey man, I'm gonna ride for you because of your situation. And if it is, I think it would be foolish, but I don't think anything like that exists. But what I do believe is that the agents are playing more of a major role in this because of not wanting to change things or things to be, a precedent to start changing. Not every team is going to go down the route of wanting to give that fully guaranteed contract. So this is agent play and it's negotiation, right? At its finest. We'll read a little bit further. As a result, numbers 35 to 64 are seeking out more guaranteed money in their rookie deals, and until their agreements are reached, they cannot, under the current collective bargaining agreement, participate in training camp. The opening salvo was just fired by pick number 55, wide receiver Trey Harris. Harris did not show this past Saturday, the Chargers' reporting date for their rookies. Carolina's rookies are slated to report Monday, July 21st. Unless the dominoes begin to fall before then, we probably won't be seeing Scourton on hand for the start of next week. And I got to tell you, I think that it's possible, and I would hope that this would be more agent than anything else. And I'm going to give every bit of credence to Nic Scourton that this is not going to be how he plays the game, right? But when you come to a situation like Carolina, knowing the dire need for pass rush talent, this could play in your favor, right? Now, I don't think that from a bargaining perspective that this is going to be an issue for David Tepper. Lord knows he has opened up the checkbook for, many other things before, to make sure that things went the way he wanted them to go. But I do believe from the bargaining agreement, language and whatever that looks like, this could be a bit of a dogfight. So it might end up being up to Nic Scourton to make a determining factor or a determining situation, or a decision, I should say, to say like, hey, you got to fix this. Because ultimately, and this is what I hate these situations, because of the behind the scenes play, because of the collective bargaining agreement stuff, because of the ownership stuff, this is always going to be something that falls more on the player because he's the face, right? Despite the contract talks that are going on behind the scenes. Because some fans just ain't going to want to hear that. Hey, man, we took you in the second round. I ain't trying to hear the money talk, you know? But in fairness to them, it's like, hey, if this is happening and this is a precedent that's being set, well, yeah, I would want to take advantage of it. And you're well within your right to do so. So the question remains then, what would this look like? If this were a holdout situation, if this went any further? Well, personally, I don't think from a lack of pass rush perspective that this is going to be as bad or as dire as it could potentially turn out to be. Primarily because I believe this is your starter. I strongly believe that Pat Jones is going to be your one of your starters anyway, right? And that DJ Wanham, possibly the other, especially if he's healthy. I think that the rotation between these guys and having, fresh bodies in rotation over and over again is going to be significant as well. But my guess is on the side, either side that you would play, Wanham has a chance to be beat out in camp. Pat Jones, maybe, maybe not. And even Wanham, maybe, maybe not. Who knows how he comes in and what the training, offseason program has been like for him. Who knows what that looks like, right? But what I do know is that they really believe in this guy. And why not? Because one of our biggest issues was one of his biggest strengths, run defense, right? And with an unknown like Scourton, with unknowns like Princely, at least you have, I would say, and this has been kind of my position as far as our defense is concerned going into the season. I think that even if you didn't have the draft picks that you picked, right, whether that's Lathan, whether that's Princely, whether that's Nick, Cam Jackson, I still think because of the moves that they made in the offseason and free agency with Trayvon, with Bobby, with Pat Jones, with Turk, I still believe this defense will be markedly better than it was last year in some of the areas that there were struggles. So that's why you go out and bring in guys like this. So I strongly believe that these guys, even if the rookies, have a situation, contract situation, injury, whatever, that this defense is still going to be significantly better as a result of the free agents that they went out and got. So this is going to be a very, very interesting situation. And I hate that this is what we're facing going into training camp. But at the same time, it could be so much worse. There's so many more things, so many more storylines out there. And I do believe this is going to be a very, very cohesive unit. And I'm of the belief that they are going to figure out a way to get this contract situation figured out so that they can move forward. So he'll be there to report on the 21st. But either way, let me know what you think below. I'm glad to be back, man. Took a bit of a hiatus to spend some time with family, but we are right in the thick of it, y'all. Coming up July 21st, training camp, rookies report, and then the next day it's on. So looking forward to this, looking forward to more content, more storylines, and you can find the best of it here, man. Make sure to like and subscribe, leave a bell notification, or hit the bell notification so you never miss a video. This is John from the One Carolina Show. Keep pounding.